Hey, we're excited to share with you another great resource that you should know all about. And today we're with Brad Harrub with Focus Press. Brad, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, Chris and Will, it's great to be with you guys. My name is Brad Harrub. I am the executive director of Focus Press, and we are a ministry that is dedicated to encouraging, to educating, to evangelizing, and edifying folks about Jesus Christ.
That's awesome. Well, very excited to have you on today. Why don't you kind of tell us about your maybe the origin story of Focus Press and how you all got started?
So we are actually now 15 years old. Long story short, my background is in science, and so I use that to teach about things like Christian evidences, creation, evolution. That's kind of the area that we hang out in a lot. Although I tell people we're kind of into cultural apologetics, basically helping Christians to respond to whatever direction the culture is currently going. So, for instance, right now, 6 days ago, there was a bill that was introduced into the House about, they're calling it the Equality Act. It's kind of the transgender, got to provide them bathrooms act. These are relevant things that Christians need to know about and also need to know how to respond to it using God's word. And so we built a work, it's a nonprofit work of the church that basically we are constantly writing, we're constantly publishing, producing videos, that kind of thing, trying to get good material, stuff that looks current and new into the hands of both Christians and non-Christians.
That's very good. I think even with that last sentence, you kind of alluded to, but who is really the main audience or main audiences that you're trying to cater to with Focus Press?
That's a great question. So I would say the majority of our writing is geared towards high school, college, and adult. We've got lots of books out there that are for adult audiences, that kind of thing. But we do some kids material. We've got kids books because we feel like, hey, if you can start trading them when they're young, then that's really when we need to be investing a lot of time, a lot of energy. So, to answer your question, we actually cover a very, very broad audience. But having said that, the vast majority of it is going to kind of lean more towards college, adult age folks.
Right. Okay. And then kind of along those lines, you talked about publishing books. We understand that you all have just published a textbook. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So I've got a dummy copy here. This is actually a one that we did in-house just to kind of see what it would look like and bind it ourselves. They're actually due here in about 4 or 5 days, so I'm extremely excited. It is a 9th and 10th grade biology textbook. Has everything that you would normally see in a textbook that's written for standards for each state. The main difference being, a lot of times science is where kids start really kind of straying away from the faith because they're being taught evolution, Big Bang Theory, fossil man, all that kind of stuff. This is one of maybe the only textbook that I'm aware of that if somebody uses, it's going to actually strengthen their faith in God. Yes, they're going to learn great science. They're going to learn all the stuff, mitosis, meiosis, all the different aspects of biology, different parts of the human body. They're going to learn about plants, animals. But at the same time, they're going to be strengthened with the fact that, hey, this didn't happen by chance. We originally set out to do this for Christian academies, for homeschooling. But when I sat down to write it, I wanted it to be used if somebody chooses to, every public school, every avenue out there, because, to me, it's critical that we present good science, but it's time that the church step up and start teaching the truth and making sure that young people don't have their faith shaken, especially during that vulnerable time, 9th, 10th, 11th grade.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is, I may actually send you guys some, like a PDF file of it. It's extremely colorful, extremely well illustrated. We paid a guy to illustrate quite literally every single page to go along with the text.
Wow.
One of the cool things about it, so we had a kind of a teen group, and early on they said, hey, Brad, you're going to have trouble getting kids to even want to learn science. That, that's kind of one of those things, kids don't like science these days. So I asked them, I said, what do they like? And almost unanimously across the room, these were science teachers, principals, educators. They said, man, they really love like CSI, forensic pathology, those kinds of shows. And I said, no problem. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put a cold case at the beginning of every chapter that actually ties into the material in that chapter. And in order for them to solve the cold case, they got to read the text to figure out, okay, who murdered this guy, or how did this guy end up dead, or whatever. So each chapter actually starts out kind of with a short little mystery that kind of helps pull the young people into that particular text.
Wow.
Very good.
That's neat.
That's
neat.
Very,
very cool. That's very neat. So, okay, I guess maybe the last question before we wrap up is, how would you recommend the average Christian benefit from your website? Is there a Facebook page they should follow? Should they just check out the website regularly? How does the average Christian benefit? Or what's the best way for Christians to get their hands on the material you produce?
So we send out weekly, sometimes twice a week, free articles that we've written. Either myself, usually, Jack, Will, various people in our organization will write material that we feel like is beneficial, educational. We send those out we've got an email database. Folks can sign up. All they got to do, hey, send me that. I would also say we have a blog site. We've got a podcast. We've got a YouTube channel. And so, if they kind of tie into our main Facebook or our main Focus Press webpage, they can kind of navigate and find everything. All of our resources, books, DVDs, downloads, everything like that are available on that site. And so let me encourage you, lots of it is free, because we really, really want people to have this material. We want to get it into their hands. And I always tell people, so we do a lot, we publish a lot of books. If you can't afford it, send me an email. We'll get it to you. We would rather get this information out and into people's hands than have it sit around on the warehouse shelf. I tell people we are in the information getting out business. And so, if there's something out there you're struggling with, a question you have, take a look at it, contact us, see if we can't help you.
Very good.
That's awesome.
Well, I think at this point, it would be a good time for you just to show us around the website.
So, Chris and Will, this is what you're going to see when you come to the Focus Press homepage. You'll notice scrolling right there in the middle is various articles that we have published recently on our blog site. So you can click on those and it will take you, for instance, straight to this particular article. All the articles are free. You'll notice on the left-hand side over here, you'll see a bunch of different categories. So if you have interest in something like, for instance, Bible study or apologetics, you can simply click there and it'll take you to a bunch of different articles that are on that particular topic. We do sell books, and you can find all of our books, DVDs. We have audio downloads, all kinds of Christian resources available in our web store. And so folks can go there, check that out. If folks are wanting just to find out more about who we are, what we do, how to book a seminar, There is an About Us page here where they can find out all kinds of good information, how to be ambassadors, how to contact us. There's also a donation page there. Let me encourage folks, take a look, spend some time on our webpage. Probably the most useful tool is going to be simply this little search bar right here. Let's say you had a question about something like dinosaurs or baptism. All you need to do is type the word in, and what's going to happen is it's going to bring up every article, every resource that we have on that particular topic. And so here you see lots and lots of stuff on dinosaurs. Anything that you have a question about, you can simply go to our search bar, type it in, and you'll find all kinds of valuable information.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Brad, we're very thankful for your time and you sharing with us the good stuff that you're doing at Focus Press.